number 9, Dr. Cam Calder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Climate Change Issues.
Order. Order. I say to both front benches, I want to hear Dr. Cam Calder's question. Dr. Cam Calder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The question to Minister for Climate Change Issues. What recent reports has he received confirming that New Zealand is on target to meet his Kyoto commitments as a result of its moderated emissions trading scheme?
The Honourable Dr. Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, New Zealand has just filed its latest emissions report to the UN Secretariat that shows emissions were down 3% from the previous year, and the net position report indicating we will comfortably meet our Kyoto commitment. These are the 2 first consecutive years of emissions reductions and contrast with the year-on-year increase of 20% in net emissions, 20% increase during the 8 previous years. The report shows that the major gains were from the reversal from deforestation pre-ETS to afforestation and a switch from thermal to renewable generation. About a quarter of the reduction was due to lower economic activity from the recession.
Dr. Cam Calder.
Question, Mr. Speaker. What impact have these latest reports had on Budget 2011, and what would be the impact for taxpayers had the ETS been scrapped?
Mr. Speaker,
the Honourable Dr. Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, the reduction in emissions is good news for Budget 2011 in that it reduces costs to the government by $238 million. I've been advised that without the ETS, New Zealand would not meet our Kyoto target and would be facing a cost of buying emissions units internationally of about $210 million. These figures confirm that the government's moderated emissions trading scheme is working successfully. It's encouraged forest plantings and encouraging renewable energy investment, and it's minimising the cost to New Zealand of meeting our international climate change obligations.
Dr. Cam Calder.
Supplementary question to the Minister. What reports has he received on the investment in renewable energy since the ETS legislation was settled in December 2009, and what other steps is the government taking to support renewables?
Honourable Dr. Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, there was more renewable generation consented in 2010 than in any year in New Zealand's history, amounting to 830 megawatts, 42% geothermal, 40% wind and 18% hydro. This is 5 times the average annual renewable generation consented during the previous 9 years, during which the bulk of new generation was thermal. This investment in renewables has resulted from the government's successful package of reforms, including the ETS, changes to the electricity market and reforms of the RMA. 2 further steps to support renewables taken this year is the introduction of an NPS on renewables under the RMA, and on the 1st of May, New Zealand joined the International Renewable Energy Agency.
Forgive me, Rahui Katane.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, what benefits for Māori have arisen as a consequence of the National Government Māori Party agreement on the emissions trading scheme?
Honourable Dr. Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, I do want to acknowledge that all New Zealanders have benefited from the very responsible approach that the Māori Party has brought to the issue of climate change, that is seeing the Labour Party emissions went up 20% during Labour's period, up 20%, record thermal generation and the highest period of deforestation ever. But I particularly want to acknowledge the Māori Party initiative that has seen a further $24 million invested in home insulation for low-income households, as well as that the considerable investment by a number of Māori corporations in forestry planting.
Question number